So Assassin's Creed Shadows is dropping its new content update tomorrow, and we are getting a new Attack on Titan crossover, and honestly, I didn't think I'd be saying those words ever with Assassin's Creed. So title update 1.1.6 is dropping tomorrow around 2 PM UTC, and it's bringing a time-limited Attack on Titan quest, a new story drop called a Puzzlement, improvements to corrupted castles, and frankly a massive list of bug fixes, including, yes, doors that told your summoned enemies to stay outside. So in this video, I want to break down exactly what's in this update, how the Attack on Titan collab works, why a Puzzlement might quietly be the funny thing here, and whether this patch is worth logging back in for, especially if Shadows has been on pause for you since the Mirage update. But let's jump straight into it. So first we have the boring stuff, which is still quite useful, and that is the patch is not tiny, of course depending on your platform. On Xbox Series X and S it's 14.7 gigabytes, on the PS5 it's 4.5 gigabytes, on PC it's 11.17 gigabytes, on Steam it's 4.4 gigabytes, and on Mac it's 9 gigabytes. So yeah, if your SSD is already crying from the size of Shadows and Awaji, it may be time to start cleaning now. Although it is safe to say this isn't just a hotfix, it's content plus systemic changes, plus a giant bug squashing season. So let's start with the headliner, and that is of course the Attack on Titan collab, Titans in Feudal Japan. So the setup is gloriously ridiculous in the best crossover way ever. A power-hungry faction in feudal Japan has managed to get a hold of a kidnapped Titan shifter and wants to use them as a weapon to take over the entire country. There's an attempted rescue, it goes wrong, and the only survivor who's carrying a dark secret of their own ends up recruiting Naoe and Yasuke to stop the group before they unleash the Titan on Japan. There is a couple of important things to know though, and that is this is a time-limited quest, only available from November 25th to December 22nd. After that, it's gone, meaning you can no longer play it, so I suggest playing it during this session. To even start it, you have to have Yasuke unlocked as a playable character. Now, the quest giver is in Yamashiro region, north of Hanatsu Tower. You'll see the icon on the map, but it won't appear on the objective board until you actually go and talk to them. During the quest, you can pick up hideout customization items, banners, and a statue, and when you finish it, you get a crystal katana for Naoe as a reward. So if you're an Attack on Titan fan, this is obviously designed to ping your brain with a crossover fantasy. If you're not, you're still getting a new limited time story, a themed weapon, some hideout cosmetics, all just for logging in when the event is live. And because it wouldn't be a modern Ubisoft crossover without a store angle, there's also an Attack on Titan jewel pack dropping on the same date. They'll have outfits, weapons, trinkets, and a new mount inspired by the Attack on Titan universe available through the in-game shop. So free quests and rewards on one side, paid cosmetics on the other, yet again, you don't have to buy them, so it's not really that big of a deal. The Attack on Titan crossover, story DLC for free, that's the good part of this right here. The second big chunk of content in this update is the new story drop called a Puzzlement. This is being billed as the third story drop for Shadows, and the tone of this is very deliberately lighter. It's pitched as a fun, humorous quest, rather than another grim political assassination. The setup is Naoe and Yasuke run into two old acquaintances who are in the middle of a very loud argument over a mysterious door in South Wakasa. No one can figure out how to open it, so naturally they dump the problem on our protagonists. A couple of really cool things happen during this quest though. Naoe and Yasuke actually learn skills from each other. Naoe picks up her own flashy version of Yasuke's war kick. Yasuke learns how to stealthily take out enemies non-lethally, which is such a nice character gameplay crossover. The idea of this huge brutish samurai learning true assassin subtlety from Naoe is great. And you sort of get this canonical answer to the age-old question, who would win in a straight duel between Naoe and Yasuke? The game lets you settle that debate, but in a very friendly, non-lethal, totally non-traumatic way. As the name suggests, a Puzzlement also introduces a brand new environmental puzzle, something more intricate and layered than your usual move, crate, climb wall sort of thing, and hopefully with some hidden Isu elements. I know a lot of us in the community are going to be figuring out all this stuff. Access the Animus are already on it when the trailer first dropped, so if you guys want to learn more about it, definitely go and drop them a follow on Twitter. The unlock conditions though for this are pretty pretty straightforward but worth mentioning. You need to have Yasuke unlocked, and you need to have defeated the first 2 Shinbaku, which you do in the beginning of the game anyway, before you even unlock Yasuke. So it's not really early game content, it's more aimed at players who are already a fair way into Shadows and want something playful and fresh to come back to. So now into a couple of the bug fixes and little cleanups that Ubisoft always add into their updates, and the first one is corrupted castles. Now if you've been deep into the corrupted castles grind, there are a couple of structural tweaks in this new patch. The chances of seeing the same castle layouts from previous seasons have been reduced, and the amount of castles each season are now tuned to give a better distribution of daishu per castle. The translation is less "oh cool, it's the exact same castle again," and more of a balanced reward spread across the entire pool. It's not a headline feature, but if you enjoy that little gameplay element, your grind should feel a little bit less samey and a bit more rewarding. Now on to the fix list, and it's massive. I'm not going to read out every single bullet point, but there are some fun and important highlights worth calling out. So the first one is they fixed a crash when switching to sell the items tab in some menus, so if your game was dying every time you tried to make money, that should be resolved. The 2 Tanuki Sumi-e rewards were swapped, now they're correctly assigned. Sword Hunter's prize Odachi Blade can finally be obtained from the Sword Hunter as intended. Loadout slots will no longer randomly reset after completing quests, which is a massive quality of life win. Sliding doors no longer block you from summoning allies. The note literally says, "You shall now pass." So clearly someone on the team has been waiting to write that patch line. The gear vendor in Mibuno Vale was hoarding engravings for himself. This has now been fixed so you can actually use what you buy. Ezio's gear engravings now correctly unlock across multiple saves. You can no longer repeatedly buy the same sword's Karuta cards, and they fixed a Sword of Fathom's Katana transmog exploit that let you stack 4 engravings. Fun while it lasted, but yeah, that's now been patched. There's several pets, different bunny, deer, doe, green pheasants, flying squirrel variants that were originally unobtainable, but that's now been fixed. Also, the green pheasant and the copper pheasant had a lot of personality swap going on. That's also been corrected. Players getting stuck trying to leave Miyataki Warehouse should now actually be able to leave there. The note literally says to go get outside and touch some grass, which, you know, fair enough. Then combat Yasuke can now correctly perform finishers with non-postured attacks. The bow staff actually triggers counter-strike as it's supposed to. Summoned allies will no longer run away like complete cowards after taking a few hits. They will now hopefully stay in the fight long enough to be useful. There's also a couple UI visual localization fixes, a pricing UI issue where the values were displayed reversed that have now been fixed. Pretty important it is to know how much you're paying for something in game. The dragon hideout building skin was missing a floor. That's there now, which is good because falling through your own hideout is not peak Assassin's Creed fantasy. The robe of Ezio outfit no longer glitches while climbing. A duplicate Widow's Solace Seiya katana has been corrected, so it isn't just a reskinned Eager's Flame Seiya katana. Clean up on various descriptions and quest visuals, including Kumuri K's weird leg clipping during fighting for the cause, and the Italian dialogue that addressed Naoe even when you're playing as Yasuke, some German lines during the tradition quests, and a Korean font issue where certain characters were rendering as little empty squares. There's also some quest and Awaji specific fixes, slight spoilers which will be flagged in the notes, so if you haven't played Awaji then maybe skip ahead to the end of the video. But fighting for the cause, Kumuri K getting stuck on a balcony and turning invisible, go with the bow, missing items like the long stick disciple costume and headband, ride into town, Rin not moving and blocking progress, Tsukai no Bakimono, incorrect quest reward, the Pirate Alliance, Oniyuri bugging out on death and blocking completion, and an issue where you weren't receiving the classic T-Bowl collection after defeating the Wise. Then on Claws of Awaji's side you have Yoshira's Secret, which is now collectible after finishing the DLC, and its description has been corrected. A plank on Miyoshi Temple that Yasuke could move but Naoe couldn't has been fixed. Naoe no longer gets stuck on the big tree in Inzagi's shrine during a snake in the shrine, and key collectibles on Awaji are now properly in the world with a total of 15 scattered around. And finally, for Xbox players, they've addressed a nasty issue where the audio would cut out of the game and it would then crash after title update 1.1.1. That has now been patched. God damn, that was a long list of fixes. is. But the question is this update worth coming back for? On one side, you've got a limited time Attack on Titan quest with unique rewards, a new lighter story quest, a puzzlement that plays with character dynamics and gives both protagonists new tricks, tweaks to corrupted castles to make the mode less repetitive. On the other, you've got a huge wave of fixes that smooth over a lot of the rough edges, from crashes and progression blockers to missing rewards, pet collectibles, and weirdly broken cosmetics. If you're burnt out on Shadows completely, this isn't a huge game redefining expansion, it's not another Awaji level drop, but if you've been meaning to come back or you're mid-run and waiting for things to be a bit more polished, 1.1.6 is kind of the perfect excuse, because you can log in during the event window, do the Attack on Titan quest, grab your crystal katana and hideout goodies, run through a puzzlement for the new moves and a puzzle, and enjoy a version of Shadows that's just a little less janky around the edges. So that's pretty much the entire update spread out to you across this entire video. Let me know what you guys think about this in a comment section down below. Are you jumping back in for the Attack on Titan quest, or are you more excited about the puzzlement with possible Isu elements and new skills for Naoe and Yasuke? If you found this overall breakdown helpful, feel free to hit the like button, subscribe for more Assassin's Creed content and all of that good stuff. Hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video.